how would you say you cope with the emotional triggers that you experienced in the past?
Well, first it was even recognizing that that's what it was, you know, but once I realized, I got into therapy in my 30s.
So you feel like your therapist assisted you in realizing that you have triggers?
Yeah, and I feel, yes, she put a name on the things that I felt that I didn't understand why I was feeling them. And also, you know, I was 19, 20 years old, and then something is surfacing in my 30s. It's kind of like, well, that probably ain't it. But in reality, that is, because I was still in college. You know, I didn't necessarily mourn correctly. I didn't do the things that I probably should have did to get past it. But I did what I thought was best for me to get past it. So now when you live in life and you're entering into new relationships or, you know, things like that, now there's a part of you that has to be seen, or you're starting to see a different part of yourself because you're operating in a different space that you've never been in, not at my age, you know, so starting to realize things about myself. I'm like, I gotta talk to somebody. I'm tripping, you know, like, cause then I know that I'm tripping, and I couldn't control it. It's just like, that when you trigger, you literally are triggered. It's something inside, you know.
It's like an actual physical and the emotional.
Yeah, it's like your body is literally going crazy when something triggers you. Now, whether you act out in anger, whether you cry, whether you have anxiety attacks, whether it's panic attacks, whatever it is, it's gonna come out. You know, and I had to figure out a way, I had to put a name on it and what was going on and why was it happening. And because I wanted to fix it. And it's a daily process, it's a daily journey. Like your traumas will trigger you at the randomest times ever. From nothing. And you have to make the conscious decision to do whatever it is that you need to do. So like with her, it was talking it out and putting it out there. And then from there, it was simply something so simple as just me breathing. Because I'm an Aries, I'm very, I'm attacked, let's go, I'm black or white, and I had to learn that that's not what the world is. But in my life, she helped me understand that gray, I don't like to exist in because that's my softness. And I just rather be here or rather be there versus be right here and just feel what that feel like. And just learning to really sit in my gray and deal with my gray and just breathing. Like, girl, you got gray. Breathe it, breathe through it. And then white noise. So odd, but at night, I think, me personally, and I think a lot of people can attest to say, your mind goes haywire at night. When you land in the bed and there's nothing going on and you didn't put the phone down and the TV might be playing, but your mind is doing its own thing. Don't shut off. Yeah. Right. And your mind is the devil's playground. Idle, you know, like just laying in the bed, and I'm allowing myself to go down this rabbit hole of unrealistic things that I've thought of and put together in my head, and I'm tripping. Now I'm about to be going crazy at night, you know. White noise has came into play and it kills it.
That's amazing coping strategy.
It kills it. I literally have a playlist of white noise on my phone. Nice. I lay it next to my pillow, and if my thoughts are going, the louder my white noise will get. On a cool night, I can have it soft. And I know that, oh, you good tonight, girl. You gonna whisper. You gonna rest in the meadow's grass tonight.
One of the good things about identifying your triggers too, it lets you know that you're not tripping.
Right.
You're triggered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you're like, man, I'm bugging. Like,
but
you're
it's
not
still,
tripping. You're triggered.
Yeah, you're not. You're not. But I think the accountability part makes me feel like you tripping, because now I also know what it is and I know how to fix it. So why am I allowing myself to do this to me now?
And you know, it's all about, same way we talked about, you know, our sponsor for today is Pure Soul, vegan restaurant. And it's the same conversations that we have about Pure Soul, right? It's about feeding the soul. And even while we partake in Pure Soul now, there's food, like finding what your coping strategy is just like feeding your soul whenever you're dealing. That sweet potato pie is amazing. When it hit the back of that, hit that tongue, you're like, whoa. I'm telling you, it's that first bite, man. I'm telling you. But it's like, you know, finding out what the coping strategies work best for you is just like feeding your soul, right? It's about going in the direction that you know is mostly attainable to get to the goal of calmness. Is getting to the goal of mindfulness. Is getting to the goal of, I'm okay, I feel safe, right? And Lee, I was going to ask you, like, what are some things that along your journey of identifying your emotional triggers that you found was best for you when it comes down to coping strategies?
Oh, man, I think one of the biggest things is I try to talk through situations, right? Or allow somebody to be an ear. to certain things that kind of happen in my life, right? And whether that be facing adversity or, you know, family issues or things like that. Like I try to talk to certain situations and explain like what the situation is and kind of like my workaround for it, you know. And I think if people don't express that and you keep stuff like that bottled in, man,
they can't help.
Yeah,
you're only going to explode it eventually.
Exactly. So, and also too, having tough conversations, man. Like I had to really learn how to have tough conversations with people, and kind of explain to create situational awareness for people, you know. And I think that kind of positions people to kind of understand you as a person. And I think one of the examples I can think of is my mother, right? You know, we've always been super tight, but you know, as the business goes and she gets involved in the business, you know, business and family, you start kind of bumping heads.
It makes the family dynamic grow.
Yeah, a little bit.
She's just not a role of your mother. She's a role of the business partner.
Exactly. So when you have those conversations, somebody might see it from a different light of what you see it as, and they might look at it as, you know, I have a twin sister. She look at me like, oh, I look at you as a strong twin. I didn't look at you of needing certain things, emotional support. I've always looked at it as like, you got it figured out, you know? And I think having those conversations gives people a different light of like, yo, I have needs too.
Right. And sometimes when people, I call those burdens. Yeah. When people put that as like, I'm the one in my family that has to make the money. I'm the one that has to supply my family with financial means. I'm the one that have to supply my family with emotional and mental health backing and advice. And like you said, looking to be as the strong one, I feel like that sometimes is a burden, and it really dilutes our needs.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It dilutes that. Then like, if I'm Tim, I'm like, yo, I need somebody to talk to. Like, I need to go to somebody in vulnerability. I need to go to somebody for advice. I need to, you know, have somebody to have a shoulder to cry on or whatever, and not be seen as weakness, but just be seen as
real. But that's the I guess the burden that's been placed on our generation, right? Like
in our culture.
Yeah, because our parents, they work and they say, all right, our kids are going to go to school, they're going to graduate, and they're going to be the best. And so we've taken that, and like you said, we've put it all on our shoulders to, all right, now I got to make the money, I got to be the strong one. And if you don't have that outlet, I think one of the great things about our relationship, Lide, is when we've kind of developed that journey of ourselves around the same time, and I didn't feel crazy about detaching. I'm a big detacher. I'll cut the social media off. I'll go on a fast. I'm a big detacher now, and I wasn't before. And it's not that people made me feel crazy about doing it. It's I didn't know anybody else that was doing it, you know? So now I'm a big detacher. I'll go dark if I need to. And that's how I recenter myself and just know, all right, take a breath, refocus. All right,
get grounded.
Get grounded, because the triggers is going. They're not stopping. The world's not stopping moving. Yeah, so sometimes you just need to, you know, detach and just recenter yourself and just start over.
Yeah, and I think too,